I would take Giannis's height.
If you got to choose your own walk-up song, what would it be?
Versatility. Definitely that's a good question. Probably Threat by Jay-Z.
Last one. What's a topic that you know more about?
Everything. No, probably baseball.
Oh yeah, go Guards.
Go Guards. Go ahead, my man. Go ahead.
Donovan, as a leader of this ball club, you guys are the prohibited favorites to come out of the East. Just how exciting is it to be back in the trenches? And what steps do you feel that you need to take in order for the team to go to the next level?
I mean, obviously you're excited. You're excited to be back, ready to go, locked in. It's kind of at a point now where it's just time to go get it. Like, you know what I mean? I think for us, not really worried about where we're seated, where we're slated. You got to go out there and handle business. Doesn't matter for number 1, number 8. At the end of the day, you know, we got to handle our business. So I'm excited. The group's excited. And yeah, for me, I think just being able to take my game to another level in all facets, whether that's scoring, passing, rebounding, playing defense, being in better shape, all the different things that come with that.
What is it going to take for the team to take the next step?
I think there's a mental push. I think physically, guys, we understand. I think there's a want to, which is what makes what I'm about to say easier. You can't really have a mental push if you don't want to be there and want to grow. So that's first and foremost. I think just being mentally understanding, like, all right, like this physically you can be there, but mentally can we continue to push through that? Like we've run into the same wall 3 times in a row, so to speak, and mentally you could stop and quit. So are we? And I'm saying are we, but I know the answer. But are we willing to every day continue to hit your head against the wall and keep pounding and keep going as we continue to make this push? And I think we are, and I believe we are.
Last week about how his entry point to the team, he thought his hair was on fire to get the French national team. Trying to work with you guys.
Yeah, he had a lot going on for sure.
So, given that he's so player development centric, what is the value of having a full summer, full off season?
A lot of memories with 17.
For me or for the group or for in general? I think it's huge. I think you will see it as the season progresses. I think it's very unfortunate that DG and Max are out, but I think that will put to test right away what you're speaking on. I think you're going to see a lot of guys that maybe the world may not know right now, but I think you're going to start to see just because of the work that they've put in. They've spent a lot of time here, the Craig Porters of the world, the Jalen Tysons, Naquan, who's been phenomenal, Tyrese, Luke Travers. Like, there's a lot of guys that I think are really going to benefit from being with Kenny for a full summer. And then obviously, you know, myself, Ev, DG, Dre, like, you know, being able to, like the Max, like everybody, I think you're going to see a natural progression. But it's not guaranteed. We still got to go out there and do what we got to do.
How big is the addition of Lonzo Ball to the ball club?
Big time. I think, you know, he's a guy that sees the floor naturally. He's a defender. He's a guy that we came into the league together, same draft class, and he's always been a pass defensively, but his knowledge, his IQ, his cerebral part of the game, I think will help us a lot.
Kenny and Kobe said that you were in mid-season form already. What does that mean to you?
Like the 5th person that asked me that. What does that mean? I mean, I made a point to be ready earlier, I think, especially once Max went down. Honestly, really, once I got that phone call, I think within the next 2 days, a mental shift just happened. Just understanding that what's going to be required, not being Superman, but understanding that being ready for what's necessary. Understanding that we have enough talent in this room to win. You know, as much as you saw, we led the East last year and win. So, for me, I'm just saying I'm ready for whatever. It's just time. I really don't have any other way to describe it. It's just like I'm ready to go. And I understand at the same token it's a long journey too. So not being stupid with the process, but also understanding that my body is ready for whatever's needed. And it's better to be here and have to scale it back than be catching up, because that's where, you know, bad things start to happen injury-wise and all that good stuff. So ready to go and kind of setting the tone. It's just like, all right, you know, it's time to go.
How do you balance that with
obviously want to be ready to go in the spring when things really matter, but also having to make up for parents for a while, nights for a while, and even if you have young guys that need to have to kind of shoulder more of a load, just helping out.
Yeah, I think it's a fine balance. It's a tough balance. You know, it's not something that, I mean, if it was easy, everybody would just follow the blueprint, right? I think, you know, having that balance in each situation is different. You know, I think for me, I just was like, look, I'm just going to be in the best shape possible when we're ready to go, and if I need to adjust, I need to adjust. Not really being, you know, naive and saying, oh, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to do it. Like, hey, if we get to November or we get to October and it's like, hey, we need to scale it back, we need to scale it back. But I'd rather be there than saying, hey, you need to spend extra 4 hours in the gym because now I'm playing catch up and then we got to go win basketball games on top of already being, you know, hobbled at the guard spot. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather be prepared and then have to kind of adjust from that than anything else.
Donovan, you talked about this summer. You talked this summer about Evan becoming an MVP candidate. What role can you play, or what role do you play in helping him get to that level and raise his game down?
I think for me, just continuing what we've been doing. I'm in his ear. Obviously, our lockers are right next to each other. We shoot together. Constant communication. But I think for me, just the level of empowerment, continuing to play through mistakes, continuing to take his level to take his game to a different level. And like I said to Chris, there's a want to that I think helps and makes this a lot easier. You know, it's not like I'm trying to pry this out of him. You know what I'm saying? He's just as committed to being as great as I am to saying that he is, which makes it easier. And I think, you know, with guys being out, it'll come to the forefront a lot faster, especially this season. Because as much as I talk about I'm in shape, he's ready to go too. And also understanding, hey, like, you got it. Like, I'm gonna go over here. Like, go run this. Like, I mean, it's not that black and white, but like, you know what I mean. Just like, hey, you know, understand he's ready for that. He wants that, so I'm excited for him.
During the off season, you're featured on the Prime Video ad. You did NBC during the playoffs with Background on Rock. What's it like for you being now one of the top faces in the NBA, but also the league showcasing some of the younger faces within your pack?
Yeah, I think it's special that the league is, you know, obviously for myself, it means I'm doing something right on the floor. But I also think, you know, what the league is doing, continuing to empower and show the faces of everybody, small market, big market, wherever. I think that's really what our game has been missing. I think speaking positively, showing a positive light on everywhere, because there's a lot of talent in this league. I think there's a lot more exposure that a lot of guys in this league need to continue to get, and I think the league is trending that way. I think that's what this new deal is really starting to show, and obviously I've talked to a lot of people about that. So I think it's special. I think you're going to see a lot of that. I think Evan's going to be a big beneficiary of that, just because obviously he's going to raise his game to already be there. It's not going to be something that needs to go get sought after the show, but like I think, you know, you're going to see crowds that weren't speaking about Evan as much are going to see that. Same like crowds that were speaking about, you know, well, I guess they won the championship, but like Shea, what they were talked about, you know, Tyrese Halliburton, like all the guys, myself, you got guys in smaller markets who are being talked about the way they should be because there's so much talent in this league, and I think that's what you're starting to see the league doing. It's special.
What did you learn from that loss to the Pacers last year?
I'll do both. Yeah, you go ahead. I got you after. Go ahead.
What did you learn from the loss to the Pacers last year?
How do I say this? I think the biggest thing is just understand that we just got to keep going. Sorry I gave you the political answer, but like that's really all I got. It's like we just got to keep going and be ready for what the season brings.
So Lonzo Ball has a reputation of being a good defender. My question is, what goes into that mindset in the league where everybody wants to shoot the ball?
Okay, I think are you talking about why he would want to shoot the ball? Like,
no, why he seems to be defensive first.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I think it's a bigger discussion. I think, you know, in a league that encourages, if you can score, you find your way on the floor, we'll figure the rest out. I think that's just what that is. There's not many guys in the league that are just, hey, I'm a shutdown defender. That's what makes Lonzo special. I think that's what makes Evan special. I mean, obviously he can do both, but not to say Lonzo can't, but Evan's, you know, obviously 7 feet and doing that is different. But I think it's just something that it's a mindset, and I respect the hell out of Alonzo for having that mindset while also being a competitor that he is on the offensive end. So I'm glad he's on our side now, doing all the stuff that he does defensively for sure.
Donovan, is there an area of your game that you wanted to work on the most this offseason? The great ones always tried to improve maybe something that they felt was lacking. Is there an area you wanted to improve on?
Yeah, I think I always talk about my playmaking. I don't feel like that gets enough credit. So I think obviously making the right reads, making the right plays, and it may not always lead to assists. I think when we think of playmaking, we think of creating shots for each individual. Sometimes it's just simply throwing the ball from pass ahead, or if there's a help with the nail, passing across, or just simple one pass ahead. And if I don't get the assist, I don't get the assist, but putting guys in a position to attack a closeout, using my gravity to create movement and shots for everybody.
No more questions. All done. All done.
I see that you're recently engaged. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be engaged to the Miss Amazing Coco Jones?
Man, that's my dog. I love her to death. She's amazing. She's an amazing human being. She brings me peace. And you know, getting to spend time with her on tour was something that was very unique because you realize that she travels and works just as hard as we do on the tour bus, up late nights. She's a special human, and you see it in her work, and to be able to call her my fiance, my wife, is a blessing. So I'm grateful.